The most dangerous POD seller in this space isn't the one making obvious mistakes. It's not the person with the terrible designs or no SEO or zero research. That person's easy to fix. The most dangerous seller is the one doing everything right and still not making any real money. And if that's you right now, this video is probably going to be a little uncomfortable because the problem isn't the effort. The problem isn't the talent. The problem is sequence. You're doing all the right things in the wrong order. And in print on demand, that's the exact same thing as pretty much doing nothing. I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like, why it happens, and the one metric that will tell you definitively whether your shop actually has a future. It's not views, it's not favorites. Most people never even look at it. Let me paint you a picture, and I want you to be honest about how much this sounds like you. You're researching before you design, you're validating niches, you've got solid mock-ups, you're posting consistently, you're using the right keywords, you're doing everything the videos here on YouTube tell you to do, and your shop is fine. It's not exploding, just fine. Trickling. Occasionally a sale, occasionally a good week followed by some weird, confusing, quiet stretch. That's not a motivation problem, that's a sequencing problem. Here's what I mean. Most people learn POD like this. Pick a niche, make designs, list the products, do the SEO, get traffic, make sales. That's the order the tutorials teach. And it's not wrong exactly, it's just incomplete because it skips the most important step, which is validation before creation, not after. Here's what the sequence actually needs to look like. Research the market first. Find what's already selling. Specifically what's selling consistently, not what went viral once. Stop chasing trends. Validate the demand with real data. I'll use Etsy's Marketplace Insights or a tool like Everbee for this. You want to see sales velocity, listing age, revenue estimates. Then and only then do you create. Then you list. Then you optimize based on what the data tells you, not what feels right. I talk about that in this video here. The difference sounds small. It isn't. When you create before you validate, you're just guessing. You might guess right, but you're still guessing. And when your guess doesn't pay off, you don't know if the niche is wrong, the design is wrong, the product is wrong, or even the timing is wrong. You have no data, so you start over and you guess again. Validation before creation means every decision you make after that has a foundation. You know the demand is real. You know people are buying this. Now your job is execution, not hope. And here's where it gets interesting. And this is the part nobody in the space is telling you clearly. Everyone talks about the Etsy algorithm like this mysterious black box. It's not. It's actually pretty straightforward once you stop trying to game it and start trying to understand it. The Etsy algorithm rewards one thing above everything else. Conversion rate. Not traffic, not listing volume, not how many products you have in your shop, not how often you post. The conversion rate. The percentage of people who land on your listings and actually buy. Here's the psychology on this. Etsy's entire business model depends on buyers having a good experience. When a buyer searches for something and clicks on a listing and buys it, that's a win for Etsy at 20-cent increments. When they click and leave, that's a signal that the listing didn't deliver what it promised. Do that enough times and Etsy stops showing your listings. Full stop. So what does this mean for the doing everything right seller? It means traffic without conversion is actively working against you. Every click that doesn't convert is teaching the algorithm that your listing disappoints people. Kind of sucks, right? Kind of shitty to think about, right? And you can have the best SEO in the world, the highest search volume keywords, the perfectly optimized tags, but if your conversion rate is low, Etsy is quietly going to bury you. This is why the sequencing matters so much. Validated demand means buyers already out there looking for exactly what you made. That increases the conversion rate right from the start. Guessing means you're hoping buyers exist. And hope doesn't convert and doesn't pay the bills. Here's a metric I want you to pull right now if you have any traction at all. Your shop conversion rate. In Etsy, it's your orders per visit. You can calculate it directly by doing some easy math, orders divided by visits, and that's your percentage. The industry average on Etsy hovers around 1 to 3%. If you're under 2 with any meaningful traffic, you don't have a traffic problem, you have a conversion problem. And conversion problems are design, positioning, and sequencing problems. Quick pause here because what I just described, the sequencing, the conversion, the diagnosis, and the actual data behind why your shop is or isn't moving, this is exactly what we get into inside my communities. Shirt Ads is $17 a month, and it's where Juna and I are actively redesigning real sellers' work taking what you've already made and rebuilding it to the standard that we would actually put in our own shops. Because a great concept with a weak execution is still a weak listing. Now, if you want the full strategy layer on top of that, the sequencing, the data, the decision framework, everything we're talking about right now, the Inner Circle is $47 a month, genuinely worth 4 times that. This is where we work on the business behind the designs, not just the designs themselves. QR code on screen, link in the top comment. Come check it out. So what do you actually do with this? First, you audit before you add anything new. Before you make one more design, pull your shop data. Look at your conversion rate. Look at your best performing listings, not by traffic, by conversion. Which ones are actually turning visitors into buyers, not the ones that you feel might be. Those are your signals. Those are success leaving clues. Whatever those listings have in common, the niche, the product type, the design style, the tone, the price point, that's the lane you need to go deeper in, not wider. Not a new niche, deeper in the one that's already converting. Second, stop optimizing things that aren't broken. I see this constantly. A listing gets a sale. Then a seller goes in and changes the title, changes the tags, and swaps the mock-up. Maybe adjust the price. Why? Because they're anxious. Because they don't trust the win. And now they reset the data on a listing that was starting to work. Leave it alone. Let it run and give it time. Third, the next thing you create needs to start with validation, not inspiration. I love creative inspiration. I'm not saying don't get creative. I'm saying be creative inside of the validated demand. Find a niche with proven buyers, then bring your creative angle to it. That's not limiting. That's how you give your creativity a chance to actually pay you. The sellers I see break through, and I've watched a lot of them do it now inside my communities, we're not the most talented. We're not the most prolific. They're the ones who stopped doing everything and got really, really good at doing the right things in the right order. I want to know something. And I want you to actually answer this in the comments. Are you validating before you create, or are you still creating and hoping? Type sequence in the comments, please, just the one word, because I read every single one, and it tells me whether this is the content you actually need more of if you stuck around this long. Here's what I want to leave you with. Doing everything right is not enough. This space rewards doing the right things in the right order. And the gap between those two things is where most good sellers are stuck right now. It's not because they're lazy, not because they're not talented, because nobody showed them the order. Now you know the order. Validate first, create from data, optimize what's already converting, go deeper before you go wider. And pull your conversion rate this week, because that number is going to tell you more about the health of your shop than any amount of new listings ever will. This is why shops with 50 listings and a really good intentional approach and a conversion rate of up over 5 will outsell a shop with 3, 4, or 500 listings every single time. Your shop might not need more, it might just need sequence. Please subscribe to this hit. I cover this kind of real business thinking regularly, and YouTube will keep putting it in front of you if you tell it you want more. See you in the next one.